Happy Black History Month. This month, United Communities Sparks Youth will be conducting interviews of locals in the area in celebration of Black History Month. Today, we have our Sparks After School member, Zemira Warren, who will be interviewing United Communities Early Learning Center's Senior Director, Ms. Torria Baker. Enjoy!
What does Black History Month mean to you?
Well, Black History Month means celebrating people of color, acknowledging their many accomplishments, and representation of all the great things that our people have done now and in the past. It's paying homage to so many people that have paved the way for us to be who we are in this present moment and to continue to strive for greatness and representation of our people. Black History Month is so important to so many because for a long time, and even now, it's a struggle to get respect for who we are and acknowledgement of our many great accomplishments. So during this month and all year round, it's just so important to recognize the greatness that we have as a people.
Who's your favorite Black artist and why?
Well, I have many favorite Black artists. For one example, this is Kehinde Wiley. And I'm sure you remember this momentous painting of our former president, Mr. Barack Obama. And he is a Black artist that painted him. And this actual painting was displayed in the White House. Historically, there's never been a Black artist to paint our president of the United States. And another reason why I like Kehinde Wiley is because he is the style of artist that I am. I'm also a fine artist that paints portraits that are realistic and paints people in a regal manner, especially Black people. So this is why I love Kehinde. He does amazing work. And I'll show you how he's influenced me. This is an actual copy of a painting that I did in a similar fashion. It's a realistic portrait of my 3 sons, actually, and I painted them to look like royalty. Because in my eyes, my sons are kings, and they're important, they're smart, they're special, and they're royal to me. So this is an image that we typically don't see our people in, and I just thought this would be a powerful painting to create.
They're all very moving.
Thank you.
How long have you been an artist for?
Believe it or not, I have been an artist since I was 3 years old. Now, I did not paint like this when I was 3. I still remember when I was 3 years old, the first time I explored paint and a paintbrush. I was in pre-K. My teacher put an orange container of paint and gave me a brush, and I stood in front of an easel and she said paint. So I grabbed the brush and I started to paint, and before I knew it, I had a big orange blob on a piece of paper. And she asked me, Torria, what did you paint? And I stood back and I looked at it and I said, I painted an orange chair. It really looked like an orange bean, but that was the first time I ever painted. And at that moment, I knew that I wanted to paint and create and do art when I was 3 years old.
Oh, that's amazing. What inspired you to become an artist?
I would definitely say my biggest inspiration was my mother. My mother was very creative. She would make things by hand. She would sculpt. She would paint on the walls in my bedroom. And to me, I thought she was magical when she did that. She would create things that I never thought I'd be able to create. I remember when I was a child, she painted a clock with a face on it on my wall to remind me to get up on time. So I would definitely say my mother was the one that inspired me to be creative and to explore art. And my teacher, my pre-K teacher.
Oh, yeah, our mom has something in our room that we paint on too.
That's awesome. Moms are amazing.
Where do you draw inspiration for your art?
The inspiration for my art comes from many places. Most of the time it's my imagination. As I mentioned, a Kehinde, to see Black people painted in a beautiful way and with such prestige, that has inspired me to paint our people that way as well. These are also two examples of paintings that I've done. Because representation hasn't always been that great for Black people, I'm very mindful to paint us in images that you may have never seen us before. For example, mermaids. You've never really seen a brown mermaid. So I feel like little girls growing up, they need to be able to see what they look like in other things, even in artwork. So here we got little chocolate babies with afro hair, and they're hugging and loving each other. Even though mermaids are fantasy creations, it's good that children can look at things like that and say, oh my gosh, I can imagine I can be those things. And this one, I call her Armor, because she's powerful and she's strong and she's beautiful and she's brown like me. So that's some of the things that I like to paint, representation of how beautiful Black people are.
I love watching movies with mermaids.
Awesome, me too.
Do you play background music when you're creating art, or do you like a quiet space?
I typically do play music, believe it or not. Most of the time, it depends on what I'm painting. I like to listen to soft jazz type music when I paint, and sometimes I'll listen to some R&B and maybe even some rap here and there to get me inspired, get me excited, and get my brush moving. So yes, I do listen to music when I paint.
Last question. Why should youth practice in the arts?
Well, I think that youth should practice in the arts because it gives you an opportunity to be creative, use your imagination, and anything that you're feeling and thinking, you can express that in art. You can sculpt, you can paint, you can do all kinds of things. There's so much involved with art. Art is singing, art is poetry, art is painting, art is dancing, art is your imagination and your heart, and create it for everyone to see in the real world. So definitely explore art. It's everything, it's expression, and it's so needed. It adds beauty to this world. Thank you so much for interviewing me.
You're welcome.
I do have something for you. Okay, hold that thought. Let me grab it. So because you were so amazing and you interviewed me, I have something for you. So you can get involved as well in the arts and create something amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, wow.
It's an easel and some paint and some canvas.
I've never had one of these before.
You got
Thank
one now. You're welcome. Thank you.
Can't wait to use this.
Whatever you paint, I want a picture of it and I want you to sign my picture.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.